What is up, guys? This is ALTX here, and today I'm going to be bringing you round 4 of my NR2003 2019 simulated season. Only 2.5 months later, after round 3 was uploaded, so yeah, not that late. Okay, it's pretty late. Bringing it this late because life got really crazy, and quite honestly, I just kind of didn't feel like recording these things. But that doesn't mean I don't like them. I still like recording these videos. It's just now I'm starting to find a little bit more time. I'm graduating high school in about 3 weeks. And, yeah, basically some more time starting to free up. So, I've got Dover here because it's going to be rainy. I've got the weather set to sunny. It's a sunny Dover race, 60 laps, and we'll jump right into the starting lineup. Crap, what camera angle is it? There it is. Sitting on the back row is Jeffrey Earnhardt, and what's that guy's name? Chad Fincham, Ty Dillon, and Joe Nemechek. Bubba Wallace and Justin Haley. Daniel Hemrick, Tanner Berryhill, Matt DiBenedetto, David Reagan, Matt Jift, Corey LaJoy, Lynn Castle, Ryan Reed, Paul Menard, Austin Dillon, Daniel Suarez, Ryan Priest, Clint Boyer, Michael McDowell, Chris Busher, Ryan Blaney, Ryan Newman, William Byron, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., Brad Keselowski, Kyle Larson, Eric Jones, Kurt Busch, Denny Hamlin, Kyle Busch, Martin Truex Jr., Alex Bowman, Jimmy Johnson, Eric Almirola, Chase Elliott, Kevin Harvick, Joey Logano. So much time. Command in 10 seconds. Right off the bat, I noticed that Hendrick Motorsports has brought a nice batch of cars today. Usually we don't see Elliott, Johnson, or Bowman up at the top 10 at all in qualifying, but they've all managed to qualify up there. So we'll see if they can stay up there now for the command. Yeah, it's on. Very funny. NR2003. Anyways, yeah, Logano, Harvick, you usually see them at the front. There's Eric Almirola starting 4th. He's currently 3rd in the standings. Speaking of standings, Denny Hamlin is mired back here. He's 2nd in the standings. And then points leader Ryan Blaney all the way back here starting in the, I think that's the 17th position, deep in the field for him. But, yeah, that's going to be the race. Logano on the pole. Only 60 laps here. It's not going to take too long. Probably half-hour long video, I'm predicting, as I've recorded 2.5 minutes of it. Got a couple of Gibbs cars, 3 Gibbs cars sneaking around at the bottom part of the top 10. I'm sure we'll see them come to a head at one point today. For now, it's a pair of Fords. One Stuart Haas, one Penske, Kevin Harvick, and Joey Logano. Logano will lead us to the green as they come out of turn 4. Logano chooses to go late, and we are green from Dover. Not even done with the first lap, and Kevin Harvick was able to take the advantage of Joey Logano. Logano did not get a great jump off the line, and the pole all of a sudden doesn't really mean anything as Harvick was able to jump out and take the lead and lead the first lap despite starting 2nd. Already seen a couple of drivers get brushed up with the wall. Saw Ty Dillon back there make contact with it, and I think the 3 car or the 8 car, one of the gold cars, might have kissed it off the turn there. As we now come around on the back stretch of lap 3. Oh, big contact there. Kurt Busch pounded the outside wall. Not as much grip as there was in earlier tests. You see there's a lot of damage on the right side of that car. Perhaps drivers are pushing it a little bit too hard too early here. Let's go to the front. There's Kevin Harvick leading the race. Let's get this bridge camera. Oh, I definitely heard Kurt Busch hit it again. He's made some heavy contact with that wall still. And he's struggling big time as they're just about 3 wide coming out of turn 4. Obviously not the ideal situation for someone with a right side as banged up as he has. Speaking of 3 wide, they're 3 wide all over the place. That time it was Suarez and Haley, and that's going to be a wreck. That's going to be 4 cars piling down to the inside. Caution will be out for that. Literally the bottom 4 in the running order. Wreck early. Nemechek, Dillon, Jeffrey Earnhardt, and Justin Haley. That didn't bring out the caution, apparently. Interesting. All right, well, we're still green in that case. All right, then. I believe it was LaJoy here. Someone else smacked the wall really hard. I can't quite find who it was. I don't really remember, honestly. It was Suarez, that's right. He seems to be suffering already. You see the right side is caved in on that car. Lots of guys hitting the wall, slipping up and hitting it. Didn't think I'd see it as much. But here we are. Harvick out front leading the way ahead of Joey Logano and Chase Elliott. We did comment on how the Hendrick cars look strong today. Elliott 3rd, Johnson 5th, Bowman 6th, and Byron, well, he's not quite there. Byron is back here in P16. I think he might have started a little bit deeper. But what's even more surprising than that is Ryan Blaney here, the points leader. Mind you, he only has a 1 or 2-ish point lead over Denny Hamlin, and then only a few more points over Eric Almirola. And unfortunately for him, running in 18th is not good when the guys ahead of you in points are running 5th and 9th. So points lead, I mean, I don't know if I'm going to do win and you're in yet. I'm going to make a decision on that in a few races. I don't think I want to. It'll make the point standings a lot more interesting. I think I might just do straight points to get in. Yep, I have decided it now. Straight points to get in. So it is important that Ryan Blaney is losing the points lead right now. But at the front, it has been pretty stale. Very stale, actually. Harvick and Logano and Chase here. So there's still smoke. Oh, that's why there's smoke. There's a wreck. Holy moly. Preece is involved. The 8 car is absolutely destroyed. And it looks like it might just be a 2-car incident. Yeah, there's Dillon. Dillon was in it too, it looks like. Man. Well, I was really wondering what was going on. Why did I see smoke? But there's Dillon just pulling up into the line. Who was, oh my. Yeah, there's 2 cars blowing up. Dillon is out. And then 95 of DiBenedetto is out as well. As he runs into the back of Eric Jones. Go back and get a quick replay before we go back green. So the origins at this wreck start all the way on the backstretch. The 3 car of Dillon gets under Preece a little bit, right? There's a lane there. And that, I guess, moves Preece up a little bit. And Dillon comes in. And he basically cleans out Preece. And they are both doomed. They're both headed to the inside wall. Hard impact for Preece. Unfortunately, he can't hang on to himself. He comes back up the track. Spins in front of the field. Same with Dillon. And ironically, Dillon's teammate runs right into him. Huge impact for DiBenedetto. And Barry Hill and Hemrick. See, the 36 got away with a little bit of damage as well. But massive impacts. We'll watch it in full time now. Get it from this angle first. You'll see the 47 spinning at the top, and boom, right into him. Get an onboard here with Hemrick. I bet that car looks a little bit familiar, doesn't it? Goodness, huge impact for him. Fortunately, just an absolute gargantuan impact for both the 3, the 8, and the 95. And the debris fly everywhere out the cars. 36 does pick up damage from it, and then furthermore, the 8 and 95 both hit the wall. And those cars are totaled. Those guys are out. Dillon and Preece, I can't imagine doing anything for the rest of the race. We'll go back live with the restart now. As we come around to take the restart, I notice that I don't see a Joey Logano at the front. Here he is. Looks like they might have had some trouble on the pit stop. He's back in P5. Moves Elliott into P2 behind Kevin Harvick. As we're set to go green, Harvick goes quite early, but he's the leader, so obviously he's allowed. And he gets a good jump on Elliott. Elliott wasn't expecting it. Green flag. That slow car back there of Ty Dillon, who got a lot of crash damage, is going to hold up the field here, and it looks like already going to create a 5-car breakaway. Well, I mean, I say 5-car, but it looks like Harvick, Elliott, and a 3-way battle for third between Johnson, Logano, and Almirola. And then Bowman. And then everybody else scrambling to get by that 13 as fast as they can. No battle for the lead up here, so we're just going to watch this mess unfold. Oh, Kyle Busch is going to turn him. contact. Blaney's around. The 21 car is here. Huge wreck. Kyle Busch into the outside wall. The track is blocked. Both Busch brothers are in it. 3 car almost gets in another one. But that's the points leader, Ryan Blaney. He is all torn to pieces. Kyle Busch, one of the favorites going into this race, he's destroyed. Kurt Busch's brother, significant damage on both sides of that car. Paul Menard is in it, and Matt Tifft, after narrowly avoiding the last wreck, now acquires more damage. And just like that, we're back under caution. So, everyone's going to pit. So, is everybody going to pit? I don't know. Hold on. No, the top 3 pit. Everybody else is going to stay out. This is huge. Jimmy Johnson, the first to stay out, followed by Logano, Bowman, Hamlin. Virtually the rest of the field has stayed out. Elliott, Harvick, Almirola are the only 3 lead lap cars. And there's Larson, too. The only 4 lead lap cars, besides the guys who just got demolished in the wreck, to pit. We'll go look at the replay of the accident. In the back of my head, I knew it was going to cause an accident. The 13 was slow, holding up a lot of traffic. Makes contact there with the 20. That slows him down a lot. And then here comes the first contact here. Kyle Busch trying to get all he can. Gets into the 13. And Blaney and Menard have nowhere to go on that deal. And then, oh my goodness me, I cannot do camera angles to save my friggin' life. There we go. Menard with a massive impact to the inside wall. Not only while this is happening down here, up ahead, Kyle Busch is getting turned to the outside wall as he tried to recover. That collects Newman, collects Kurt Busch, and they collect Suarez, a 38, a 97, just a massive pileup as the track is completely blocked. Jeffrey Earnhardt tries to be a hero and drives through it, but instead just plows into the 41. Dillon somehow does not hit another car. Look at another look at the wreck. We'll watch from Blaney's view. Nowhere to go for him. Victim of the situation, and he just gets absolutely swept up and pounded from all ends. And the one thing on his mind more than the fact that he just wrecked out of the race is that he just absolutely lost the points lead. And Paul Menard had a monstrous impact on the inside wall. He got air for it. He kept the car rolling, but without massive damage. Kyle Busch had a wild ride down the backstretch, which ultimately culminated in his elimination from the running in this race. Just things kind of one thing after the next happened, and they couldn't stop it. Before we go green, we'll get a wide angle at the wreck. It starts all the way in the middle of the backstretch, and things just escalate as they go down. Heavy, heavy impacts by a lot of these guys. Just like that, a lot of cars swept up and out of the race. We'll go back to the restart now. We are back here at Dover. Doesn't appear to be. There don't appear to be. Oh wait, just kidding. Okay, 23, the 8, the 95, 47, 13, and maybe a couple more out. Jimmy Johnson staying out. Well, I mean the whole field except for the leaders staying out. Which will have the 48 car assume the lead. A couple of slow cars under him, so I mean another caution could happen. 48 car goes fairly early and gets a good jump on Logano. So we are down and away for the restart from our second caution. Nothing happening for the lead, but I can already see the drama escalating as the wounded Ty Dillon is again holding up cars, and it's already creating a mess. We'll see what happens. Really dicey situation there. Clint Boyer with the aggressive move going to the outside. Ooh, contact between the 34 and the 39. And it has everybody get out of it to hesitate, anticipating an accident. More cars get by the 13. Holding my breath here. Kyle Busch gets by. Almirola back here with Harvick and Larson trying to recover the ground they gained from pitting. A questionable call, but it's still early on. We're not even halfway, so they've got time to try and make it work. It looks like we've steered clear of disaster for now. Elliott on pit road. That's very interesting. Not sure what that could be. A possible pit penalty for him. Because meanwhile at the front, Johnson, I was going to say Johnson is checked out, but he and Logano ran identical lap times, actually. Bowman actually ran a slightly faster lap time, so that caution kind of just blew this race wide open. We've got leaders, the fastest cars in the track on different strategies. And we've got the 48, the 22, and the 88, the temporary beneficiaries of this, but will it come back to bite them later on when guys like Eric Almirola restarts, which so far he's done a nice job. We have 29 cars on the lead lap, which means he started back somewhere from 27th to 29th, and he's already up to 17th, tearing his way through the field. Looks like I think it was Boyer that came with him. Almirola came with him. Or Boyer came with Almirola. Excuse me, Boyer came with him. Larson came with him. Harvick also went down pit road. And those are the guys that started towards the back, and they're already making up significant ground as we have a massive gaggle of cars here. Never safe at a track this narrow. And it's a big 3-wide situation. Lots of fast cars here. Eric Almirola here, almost 4 wide. If they get out of this alive. Oh, the Devil Zero hits the wall. And do they save it? The 37 has to merge. Oh, no, they don't save it. Huge impact. Is the 37 alive? Oh, my goodness. Chris Buescher has absolutely annihilated the outside wall. I thought he was going to be able to save it, but he was not. He goes up there and absolutely destroys the wall, and that's going to be another caution. And before that, Logano was starting to catch Jimmy Johnson, so the strategy plays out well for the top 3. The top 3, really. They were able to pick up some track position. Because now I think all the cars are going to pit, except for people like Blaney who just need wave rounds. We'll go look at the replay of that accident. If I'm Eric Almirola and I'm in this situation here, I'm absolutely on edge. This is incredibly dangerous, and it proves to be exactly that. The Devil Zero slides up, hits the wall, comes down, squeezes the 37 to the 10, and right here they're doomed. Right here, usually they just get hooked and hit the wall and come back out like the first wreck. 37 wasn't able to keep it down there, slides back up, and the impact of the outside wall is absolutely crazy. 43 picked up some good nose damage off of that as well. Almirola might have a little bit of a fender bender. Now we'll watch as a strategy call almost went horrifically wrong for the Chen car. So he sees the 37 come down like that, his heart stops. And then this just... Fair warning, graphic violence is ahead. Heavy impact. We can't forget to discount the massive impact that Castle took too. Buescher went head on, but you see Castle's car actually gets airtime because of the angle he hits it at. Ugh. Devil Zero lifts up into the ground. We'll go back to the restart now. Chris Buescher is okay, but his race is over, unfortunately. We'll go back to the restart now. We're back live at Dover International Speedway. And Jimmy Johnson is still the leader. Chase Elliott a lap down now. His teammate Alex Bowman behind him in second place. So as we come down to the green flag, Johnson once again the control car. Everybody on equal ground this time. Everybody has pit for 4 tires. Green flag is out. Johnson gets a great jump and is able to get right down to that bottom line from the lap cars here. I know Chase Elliott has plenty of speed in that thing, but unfortunately, dude, I assume a penalty. He's a lap down. He will get his lap back, though, because he's only fighting Landon Castle for that extra lap. As we look back here, see if we have a caution. Actually, check the lead real quick. No. Johnson was able to pull it out against Bowman. So, already in the back here, Eric Almirola in another hairy situation. Watching him because we know he's one of the fastest cars in the field. Oh, I saw bits of debris flying everywhere. The 39 might have given them... Oh, he did. He gave it a ton of contact. Larson gaining ground. Harvick fighting his way back up, and this is the big gaggle of cars you have to worry the most about. This is where all the cautions happen. Harvick has broken free of it. Almirola is tragically stuck behind Ty Dillon, which seems to have been the catalyst in most of the cautions today. As we head back to the front, Johnson was not able to jump out the way he was against Logano. Bowman has tracked him back down, and he's running a little bit quicker than him each lap. I know fastest laps aren't everything, but if you look at the top 3, wow, interesting. The top 3 is Bowman, Elliott, Byron, Johnson down in 7th. It doesn't look like Johnson has the fastest car, but they've been able to manipulate the tires, cycles, and strategies to get themselves out front. But the problem is Alex Bowman has a very fast piece of work there, and it's going to be a handful holding up that car. This is a duo you don't usually see leading the race. It's usually, the guys in 3rd and 4th, Logano and Truex. So this is refreshing, definitely, but it's going to take a lot more of this to consider any of the Hendrick camp as a championship favorite, because if I'm not mistaken, Jimmy Johnson is the highest in points right now out of the Hendrick camp, and he's only 12th. So this is good for them. This is good for them, and it's definitely plausible that one of them win today. But it's going to take more than a good race like Dover for any of them to be considered championship favorites. But nonetheless, a refreshing sight to see car 48 and 88 out front, and I guess Elliott too, but he's a lap down. He's just hoping for a caution eventually. I really want to go through the field a little bit, but this battle for the lead is going to heat up here in a little bit, as Johnson and Bowman are absolutely running away with it. It won't be long before they're fighting each other, and that'll maybe let Logano catch up. I'll monitor the gap like this here, and I'll go through the field a little bit. Got Logano here running third place. Kind of stayed on the same strategy as the 48 and the 88 have, but I don't think they have the same pace they do. Chase Elliott there right about with him, but Elliott is a lap down. 19 of Truex Jr. running solid in fourth place. The 2 of Brad Keselowski, and William Byron did come to life like I expected him to. They've all got the same stuff, and they started significantly further back than their teammates. But the 24 crew seems to have figured it out, and they're up to 6th right now, and they're pressuring Keselowski and Truex to try and move up even further. Have Clint Boyer, who was way back there in the pack in that big mess. He add himself to the fight for 4th place here, as he gets under the 24 of Byron. We have Denny Hamlin here, who I believe also pit from the lead. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. having a quiet, good day in 9th place. I forgot his name. I always mix up the front row cars. 34 of Michael McDowell, currently in 10th place, having a good day amidst the misfortunes of his teammates. Ryan Newman in P11, good day for him. Eric Jones in P12, not the best day for him. Kyle Larson, who's currently mired 31st, I believe, in points. A 13th place finish is not really good, but I say this, hold on. We do have a battle for the lead. Bowman actually got around Johnson. I can only assume it was the lap car, because just a second ago I had Johnson a 10th ahead, as you can see there. But Bowman definitely needed that lap car, because now that he's around Johnson, I think he's going to be able to pull away with it, because he definitely has a faster car right now. And that really is going to settle out. I don't think Johnson has as good of a car as he was running. I think he maybe has like a 3rd or 4th place car, and they were able to use strategy to try and lead some laps, which they did. They led a considerable amount of laps. But Bowman, I think, has the better car. As I say that, they run the same lap, of course. Here's a dangerous thing. They've all got to get around this lap car. 38 of Reagan. Ooh, cuts right in front of Byron. Not that he really had too many places to go with that. Definitely significant there. It's really going to hurt Byron's momentum. Hamlin's going to get under Byron, and that upward charge he was having is all of a sudden dissipating. As we go back here, Larson, who is down in the low 30s in points somewhere, that he's just had a horrible season. Even though a 13th place run isn't great, it'll help him out. Harvick here trying to recover from a botched strategy call. Kurt Busch surprisingly running 15th with all the damage he has. Corey LaJoie running well. Bubba running well. Menard, don't ask me how, he's here. Kyle Busch with a lot of crash damage. And Almirola, unfortunately for him, everything strategy-wise completely backfired for them. There's Tift running P22. Got some lappers up here, and then the rest of the field is basically banged up from the wreck. I mean, P23 is laps down, and I said Johnson didn't have the car to compete with Bowman, but it appears he's turned on the jets because he's keeping up with him now. And then, there's their Hendrick Motorsports teammate, Chase Elliott. I bet he wished he were in 3rd. This is a weird sight. Unfortunately, he's only a lap down, and I don't know, man. At this rate, he could unlap himself under green. And I do believe we're going to have a round of green flag stops. So don't leave short pitting and strategy out of this thing. There's plenty of drama to go. Johnson stalking Bowman for the lead. Doesn't look like he's got enough to go up and pass him, but he is keeping with him, which surprises me because Bowman was slowly catching him before. If you look this time, the gap's actually going to shrink, so Johnson somehow reeling Bowman back in. It looked like he was finished, like Bowman was going to take the lead and drive away with it, and as I say that, they're catching that 13, so this could be Johnson's chance to strike back and take the lead. As Bowman got up to his bumper, and probably used the lap car, the 34 of Reagan, as a pick, thinking Johnson might have the opportunity to do the same. Fortunately, it doesn't. Oh, does it go that way? Bowman has to check up big time for him. Bowman did not expect him to take that lane, it looks like, and Johnson's going to drive right up to the back of him. And let's just go ahead and make it more interesting. Here's their teammate, Chase Elliott, which looks to be faster than both of them trying to unlap himself. Johnson now right on the back bumper of Alex Bowman. Here comes Elliott, too, while we're at it. Bowman's going to drive right around him, but now that makes things a lot more interesting as Johnson is literally right behind him. Fortunately for Johnson, he's going to fear some pressure from his teammate. And amidst all this, 19-car Martin Truex Jr. lurks in the back, watching the chaos unfold ahead of him. Close battle there between Byron and Stenhouse for 8th. Johnson now being overtaken by Elliott. That is going to hurt JJ a lot because now he's facing opposition from Elliott. That slows down both of them. I understand Elliott's trying to unlap himself, but you'd think Mr. H would come over and say, knock it off, because he's in that free pass spot, and it's making things dangerous. It's not dangerous, it's just, I don't know. You just don't like to see it. But hey, he's able to do it. He gets around Johnson, and it wouldn't surprise me if he goes up there and passes Bowman, too. Unlap himself under green. Although that doesn't look like this caution's coming, but I'm almost positive we're going to have pit stops, because these things are really crawling around this track. And if I'm Jimmy Johnson or Martin Truex Jr., speaking of, there they go now. I was going to say, if I'm Johnson or Truex, I come in pit road ASAP. Because right now, they are a good 2.5 seconds off the pace on fresh tires. And Truex only being 2 seconds back from the leader is going to benefit huge from this. Considering first the amount of laps to go, only 8 to go. Looks like Johnson's going to come in this time as well. He and Truex are going to benefit. I think from the looks of it, it might be Johnson and Truex for the win, honestly. Just by the pit strategy we're seeing, Bowman staying out, it's not the right move for him, I'm telling you. He's running very slow on the track because of the dead tires. Those things are absolutely destroyed, shredded. And I don't like the call to stay out. It might lose him the lead because staying out for an extra lap, it's another 2.5 seconds gone, and he's going to stay out longer. No, he's not. He's coming this time. So I guess Elliott, after unlapping himself, decided he'd come in too. The big guys we're going to watch here is Truex and where he comes out compared to Johnson. Because he pit, then Johnson pit, but there's about a 1.5 second gap between Truex and Johnson. So my prediction is that it's going to be between Truex and Johnson for the win. As here comes Truex now. Here's Johnson on the apron still. Truex speeding around the turn. Oh, he's going to be racing 48 on exit. It looks like no. 48 crew executes superbly and gets him back out in front of Truex. And this is huge for him because Truex did close up to the 48 a lot. Johnson could pass Bowman. He is going to pass Bowman. Here's Bowman. Here comes Johnson. And this is huge for the 48 car. And oh my goodness, Bowman's crew must have had a disaster of a pit stop because they stayed out a lot longer, granted. Their last lap was probably horrible, but that is huge for Jimmy Johnson. As I look around, there's the 48 car. This race is far from won, though. He has the lead with 5 laps to go. Martin Truex Jr. is right there. Outside of this, Jimmy Johnson has not won a cup race since Dover 2017. Here we are in 2019, 2 years later, and he has the chance to pick up the first time in nearly 70 races, and around 70 races, but don't celebrate too soon because Truex just chopped it down a 10.5, and he is there, and he is hungry. And there's lap traffic ahead. 4 laps to go. There's plenty of time for Truex Jr. to close in and make a move. Bowman now facing pressure from Boyer and Logano. He is out of the picture. With that pit call to stay out another lap, they lost a couple seconds. 3 to go. The gap this time stays the same. Johnson is able to put together a lap worthy to keep Truex at bay. The road is not clear yet, though. He's got LaJoy and McDowell ahead of him. And mind you, that is a battle for position. So they're not going to move over too kindly for the leaders. There is a championship point at stake between this scuffle right here. 2 to go this time for Johnson, and here comes Truex. Johnson gets backed up by the lap traffic out his windshield. Oh, 34 hits the wall in front of him. Definitely a little bit of extra drama. Truex is there now. Johnson boxed in by the 32 and the 34. Opens the door for Truex to get right up to him. White flag is out. Here we go. Truex makes contact with the 34, trying to get as much as he can out of the track. Down into 1 and 2. Johnson takes a higher lane, defensive, trying to get a better runoff. He will. It's going to take a gargantuan effort from Truex, but I don't think he's close enough to make a move right now. I think that's going to do it. Coming out of turn 4 for the first time in 2 years, Jimmie Johnson is going to visit victory lane for Hendrick Motorsports. Definitely an intense finish, and 48 car was not... Oh, there's a wreck across the line. Goodness gracious, as if it couldn't get worse for Austin Dillon. I think it's the 3rd wreck he's been involved in, and that's going to do him in, but the race is over, so he's fine. Yeah, he's pretty dead. The 48 car was not the fastest car all race. As I said, I think Bowman had more than him. I think the 19 had more. I think even Hamlin and Harvick had more. They were a good top 5 car that could run up there with the leaders. But it was the crew chief atop the box, Kevin Meandering, that was able to keep his guy out there in the lead and manipulate tires and strategy, pit at the right times, and able to have everything work their way and give Jimmie Johnson an opportunity to drive his race car and hold off for the win. And crew chief did what he had to do, driver did what he had to do, and they were able to pick up the win at Dover in a nice championship bonus as we go to the final finishing results. Come on. Here we are. All right. So, Jimmie Johnson winning the race. Martin Truex Jr. 2nd. Alex Bowman 3rd. Clint Boyer 4th. Joey Logano 5th. Denny Hamlin 6th. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. 7th. Kurt Busch 8th. William Byron 9th. Eric Jones 10th. That rounds out your top 10. As we do a little bit of points analysis here. Let me put this over here so I'm doing points analysis. Ryan Blaney currently leading by 4 points. No more after finishing an incredibly disappointing 29th place. It was a good job, a very good job on them. They were 4 laps down at one point, I believe, and they were able to take wave arounds and get laps back on all the cautions we had, and they ended up finishing 1 lap down, and they turned a 35th place finish into a 29th place finish. A crucial 6 points that could come into play many races down the road, but at the time being, he will relinquish the points lead to, it looks like, Denny Hamlin for sure. Hamlin only 4 points back, finishing significantly better. He's going to pick up over 20 points on him. Almirola, strategy did not play his way, nor did it for Harvick. Almirola was 3rd in points. Byron being 4th in points to finishing 9th. Not bad for him. Then it goes Keselowski, Eric Jones. Nothing crazy out of there. Things might not change too much. Newman, yeah, as I said, about mid-pack. Buescher's going to drop for sure. He's 8th in points, and we all know how his race went. He absolutely died. Boyer finishing 4th. He is currently 9th in points. That's going to help him out. And then, of course, we do have Jimmie Johnson with the victory. Jimmie Johnson is currently seated 11th in points, and I'm sure that's going to really rise him up in the points. And I know I said he's the highest. I forgot Byron was actually 4th in points. But that's definitely going to help the 48 car in points. His teammate, Alex Bowman, is right behind him in points, 12th. And he finished 3rd on the racetrack and led some laps today. And he's going to move up a considerable amount of spots in points. And then behind them is the 9 of Chase Elliott, who looked like he was destined for a shot at the win. However, unfortunately, due to what I assume to be a pit road penalty, is relegated to a P24 finish. And he's probably going to drop from 13th in the standings. We've basically gone through all the playoffs at this point. The 8 is in the 87's in. We know that's not going to last long anyways. So as we go through the rest of the results, we'll see Darrell Wallace with a really good finish from him. He's currently 19th in points. That's sure to bring him up a little bit. Paul Menard, Larson with that 13th place finish. Hey, you get all the points you can. 13th isn't spectacular, but it'll do the job for somebody who is 30th in points. Excuse me. Matt Tifft, a great run from him. Ryan Newman, Keselowski, Kyle Busch, Eric Almirola, Kevin Harvick. A lot of these guys just the victims of accidents and wrecks and strategy and just things not going right. Nemechek 20th, Ryan Reed 21st, LaJoy 22nd, Michael McDowell. We have Elliott, Fincham, Earnhardt, Reagan, Castle, Ryan Blaney, the points leader, now dethroned. Austin Dillon 30th, Ty Dillon 31st, Chris Buescher 32nd, Tanner Berryhill, 33rd. Daniel Suarez, an absolute disaster of a day from him. He was 14th in points, barely over the cut line. I mean, we're only 4 races in, but you like having that good points cushion. And unfortunately, it's going to disappear and then some, likely to fall out of the playoffs for the time being. Ryan Preece in the 47 car. He showed a lot of speed. He looks like he was having a good run, but unfortunately gone wrong from him. Back to Benedetto, finishing P36. And then we have Daniel Hemrick, who was 15th in standings, but he's about to really, really lose it. Like he'd probably fall below 20th. So that's all I have for you guys. 48 car is victorious. That is the second Chevy to visit Victory Lane, and interestingly enough, the second Hendrick Motorsports car to visit Victory Lane. Hope you guys enjoyed the race. Thanks for watching. I believe in like all of my close to 100 races I've done, Jimmy Johnson's never won a race. So, yay, I'm a Jimmy Johnson fan. I like this. I'm okay with this. Jimmy Johnson finally won a damn thing on this channel. Thank y'all for watching. Y'all have a good one. I'll see you on the next video.